Welcome back to the Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast. And in case you're just joining us, you're listening to the Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast with Emmy Hikins and Trevor.
Great extent, and so yeah, and I would say that with all carefulness, because there's an aspect of conspiracy theories that I would buy into, and there's the aspect that I don't buy into. The abduction of aliens abducting human beings, I don't buy into that. Cover-ups for reasons of whatever reasons that may be, I buy into to a great extent. For instance, the celebrities where, I think they manufacture a celebrity scandal, and then there's something else they've planned to do, and whilst we're being distracted by focusing on that scandal, whatever is going to happen happens, and then by the time we come back to reality, it's already too late. So I believe in that. I do believe in that aspect of the conspiracy theory. But all the other aspects of conspiracy theory, I would take with a pinch of salt, because, unless you can substantiate, unless there's a substance to it, I don't believe in it. Because then you where does it stop? Where does it end? You believe in anything and everything, so that's I think that's to the extent that I would say I believe in it. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is what about though? That's a very general comment, a good comment about conspiracy theories, and probably most of us would agree that you can't take on board and believe everything by way of conspiracy theory. But individual conspiracy theories, maybe it's a different question, because, for example, fairly recently, another report, or not so much a report, but papers were released, great numbers of papers were released about President Kennedy's assassination.
Right.
Back in, I think it was in the 1960s. Now, a lot of people have a view on that over the years, because perhaps when someone is assassinated like that, over time, a lot of their life story and what they did, what they didn't do, came out. Now, as I understand it, he was a very impressive, clever president of the United States. Right. And I think there were problems. There was a risk of a nuclear war with the USSR, as it was then, Russia, because they wanted to put some nuclear missiles in Cuba, right on the doorstep of Florida, really. And it was a real war of attrition. And Kennedy, when you read the stories about this, he held strong. He said, no, he's not going to, he will retaliate if they put them there. And eventually the USSR president backed down. But it brought the world apparently quite close to a world war. But that, be that as it may, he also had a checkered personal life. I don't think it's disclosing anything that isn't known, that he had affairs, apparently with Marilyn Monroe, and there's another conspiracy theory there that she was murdered. But I mean, that's going off at a tangent. But anyway, these papers that were recently released, I don't know whether it was because Trump said when he got to be the president again, he wanted to find out about these things or release information. I don't know whether that's why they were released, but anyway, they were. But actually, some of it was in the press, and it seems to me that huge amounts of this paper's release, they were redacted. It was just blacked out of the lines. So many pages. And so, of course, all that really does. So the papers ultimately didn't say much more than people knew anyway. But all it really does is then fuel the conspiracy theory to say, well, why have they got so much to hide on that? So maybe that's an example of where people can say, yeah, one way or another, I think the CIA maybe was to do with the murder of President Kennedy. We don't know, because there's no real hard evidence either way. And if it was covered up like that, then presumably it will always remain covered up. So that's a specific one. Another famous person who was murdered, again in America, is John Lennon. I think that was in 1980. He'd gone out in the morning with Yoko, his partner, his wife, and there was a fan there at the bottom of his building, the Dakota building, just outside Central Park in New York. And I think John signed a book for him in the morning. And this chap, Mark Chapman, said, well, I'll be here later on when you come back, because I want you to sign a record cover. So anyway, later on, they did come back. John Lennon, as I understand it, signed the record.
We're going to take a short break now. We're back shortly. You've been listening to the Alien Spaceship Talk Show with Trevor Gear and Emmy Hikins. The Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast is looking for sponsors. If you're a company out there looking to spread the word about the products and services you provide, please get in touch with Deepstuff Radio Podcast on info@deepstuffrecords.com, or to use the contact form on our website to contact us, please visit radio.deepstuffrecords.com. Also, if you're looking to get involved on the Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast, reach out via our Deepstuff Radio Facebook page. Thank you.